On the most recent episode of the Local Scenes podcast, Open Here, Tiff Phillips invited local artist Jessie Fries to share her story. Check it out.
Hi, Jessie. Welcome to Open Here. So happy to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So, Jessie, you are an artist here in Plymouth. Yeah. You are at the art shop with Eddie Murray, your bestie, right?
Yes.
You guys are good friends.
Bestie, business partner. He is my best friend, yeah.
Aw. So can you just tell us a little bit about you, your background, your family life?
Yeah. Family life. I grew up in a household where we appreciated handmade things. My dad is a very talented woodworker. My mom weaves baskets. My nan, who's passed, B, she braided rugs. So I grew up in this environment where anything handmade was just treasured and valued.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So it's in your blood, right? So when did
Sure.
you know that you were an artist?
Oh, before I could walk. My Nana and Grampy, every weekend I'd be over there visiting, and there was a craft cabinet, and they'd have different art and craft projects. Like before I could, I'd be in a high chair. I remember being in a high chair with crayons, and we'd have a different project every weekend, and I just loved spending time making and creating. It just was forever. It was going to be what I wanted to be. Third grade, teacher asked, "What do you want to do?" "I want to be an artist."
So later on the line, you were on our show, Local Matters, and you had talked about how someone told you along the line that you were never going to make it in the art world, but you did.
Oh,
I mean, can you talk a little bit about that? Like, how did you overcome that kind of self-doubt?
Absolutely. Being an artist, as difficult as it is, you're putting yourself out there. Your artwork. So when you go away to school, which I do encourage getting a second education. I do. However, when I went away to college, I went to New York. I grew up in Carver, so I was a little country hick mouse. And I was going to go to New York and just wow them. And my first semester in art classes, I failed every art class. And my professor at the end of that semester had all my portfolio work for the whole term in front of everybody. We were in an amphitheater in front of everybody that was taking art, and said that I had absolutely no talent and to go home. And I took it hard, but not so hard that it didn't spur me. I called my dad on the phone. I'm like, all right, we're done with school. I'm coming home. And my parents were really wonderful, very supportive, always have been. And I came home, and this is before I had a computer. This was way back. I went to the library every week and every Tuesday, and I would grab a different art book, a different something, and I was determined I'm going to teach myself how to be an artist. I'm going to teach myself, and a lot of trial and error. 30 years later, I'm doing my thing full time. And I remember being poor too. My dad being a woodworker, there'd be scraps of wood, and I had the lamest paintbrushes and a few tubes of paint. I had a daughter very young as well. And I would read these art books and teach myself and practice. And a lot of things got thrown into the wood pile, the burn pile. But a lot of it was just loving what I was doing and not giving up.
So was there ever a moment where you're like, maybe I can't do this?
Oh, no. I'm a Taurus the bull. You tell me no, I'm going to fight harder and want it more. But it could be crushing if you have a mentor or somebody that's not encouraging you. A lot of times we need to listen to what that direction's being told and learn from it. However, not in my case. I was just like, but trust me, it's not been an easy road not having a college degree and having to prove yourself as an artist over and over again to say.
But there's something to be said about being self-taught. Like, that's magical. There's some things that school can't teach you, that kind of innate, born with it kind of talent. Yeah. And that's incredible that you were able to do that.
Thank you.
Now, how did the art shop come about?
Funny you should ask. Okay, so I have an incredibly supportive family doing the art thing, and I also live with a wonderful person. He's very supportive. He's a policeman. He does his thing. He's in his own world, but I'm in my little rainbow world of color and creating. And I made friends with this Eddie Murray, my friend and business partner now, and we've been friends 10 years today because Facebook told me. And we just clicked, and we realized that we had been in a lot of art festivals, the Waterfront Festivals tomorrow. We had done all these fairs and art shows but never really knew each other. But we had participated at these same places, and we became friends through a mutual art friend on Facebook. And then we just said, hey, let's do this show together. And we just worked well together. And then I think 9 years ago, I had an opportunity to rent a little tiny studio space, and we started in Plimpton, the art shop, and we didn't have running water. We were only there on the weekends. He worked full-time driving back and forth to Rhode Island, and I would teach classes and do my stuff, my art classes in the week, but on the weekend we were open to the public. But then it started to take off, and people were like, oh, we're like, we could do this. Like, we could do this full-time. Let's set our sights higher to build the art shop bigger. Let's head for Plymouth someday. It took a few years, but our goal was to be down here before 2020, the big 400th anniversary.
How long did it actually take for it to take off? Because usually, like, that first year is the most difficult. So, like, you feel like you're in the flow now, right?
Oh,
so, yeah. When did you feel like you were in that kind of like, oh, we're actually doing this?
A few months in.
Yeah.
A few months in, we had a big open house, and, like, we had a line outside the door waiting to get in, and we were thrilled. It was exciting, and people were connecting with what we were creating, and they were purchasing, which was great because that helps pay the bills. And we just had such a positive feedback. And starting in Plimpton was great because I had lived there for 20 years raising my daughter, and it's a great community. People are just very supportive. It's kind of country, but we knew we were outgrowing our space. We had to go a little bigger, and Plymouth this is our destination. This is our final destination for us. We love it. We love being in Plymouth.
Awesome. Can you tell me what a typical day looks like in your life?
Sure. I wake up and the first thing I say to myself, and I have a sign in front of me in case I forget, I will wake up with purpose and intent. That is my first thought. And I say it out loud. That's my mantra in the day. So, and then I have to think, okay, something's going to inspire me today. Then I walk my little pug, Lulu, and a lot of people know Lulu. She's at the shop a lot. She's our mascot. And then I'm like, whatever inspires me that day is the direction I go for. I don't take commission work. I do what I want to create. It could be a multiple of mediums because being self-taught, I have tried so many mediums. I have my favorites, and then I have my things that I'm like, I don't ever want to be called a sellout because I'll paint something that I know will connect with an audience, like oceans and pretty landscapes, but I love doing that. But I also I have a dark side too, so I like to do my creepy drawings and paintings or dark, moody charcoals, and it's just whatever the mood I'm in and whatever inspires me.
So what is your favorite medium?
Charcoal. I love drawing because it's emotional, it's dirty, and I get covered in it, and I get into it, and I love it. That's
Always reminds me of Titanic. Like, he's drawing. That's awesome. So where do you get your inspiration from?
Nature first, always nature. That's the biggest inspiration. Sometimes people. You're giving off such a positive vibe. I'm going to go create something beautiful today. You might encounter something that just puts you in a mood, and it's like, okay, you know what? Or maybe it's just I just want to play with watercolors today, or it could be anything that I see along that morning or getting me going. And I'm like, that's what I got to do.
Do you feel like you get to just play every day? Is that like you're just living your best life?
I am living my best life. I'm very blessed, and I count my blessings. I let people know that. We say, I work with a business partner that I trust, and he's my friend. I work with my dog, which I love. I'm by the ocean making art every day. I get to go home to a safe, beautiful home with a great person there, and I have a good life, and I count my blessings. There are days that days suck, but then there's mostly 99% of the time it's good. It's all good.
So, I mean, you're such a positive person. Is that how you stay? You count your blessings? Because it's an easy time to be kind of jaded by everything that's going on. So how do you keep that up?
The last few years prove that to a lot of people. I always look at it like, the good and the bad with COVID for me was I had artwork to channel when we were in lockdown in our house, I had something creative and positive that I could work. And there were times that I painted dark pieces because we were so unsure of what was happening in the world. But I had an outlet, and a creative outlet I think is so important for kids to adults to anybody that can find something that they can be creative and have a moment. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece or beautiful or perfect, but you get lost on that process. And I love the process. And that's what keeps you positive. Just keep doing it and keep at it. And then you might have something that's gorgeous at the end too. You might make something lovely, and it just keeps me in a good frame of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your advice for folks there who are just kind of getting into their talent, who are artists, who are just trying to start out?
Work at it. Work at it. I had a great uncle who was an artist, and I was very, very young when he passed away. He was in his 90s, and Uncle Howard. And I asked him, I wanted to be an artist, and what is the advice he would give me? And I would give this also to people. He said, any chance you have an opportunity, take it. If you have a chance to learn something creatively, do it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to fail. Work at it, practice. Work at it, practice. Enjoy it. Have fun while you're doing it. It's not always fun, but I mean, you try to have a fun time. And I do. I work my days off. I'll work 10, 12 hours in my studio on my 2 days off, and I love it. If I'm in a restaurant and there's a napkin, I'll get my pen out, and when you just do it, it's just nature. Cooking is, if I'm not creating, maybe I'll make some presentation, something nice in food, or never have idle hands.
I love that. So,
And don't be afraid of failure. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
no, you're totally fine.
Don't be afraid of failure. Failure will help you grow to be successful.
It's more of an experience than an actual
Absolutely.
failing of, I totally get
Absolutely.
that. So what do you think the future holds for you?
The future's bright.
It is for you.
I'm going to continue living a good life and making art and pushing myself and challenging myself creatively. Like, there might be something I want to tackle or learn that I'm unsure of, but I'm going to keep practicing and doing more. I hope the art shop continues to grow downtown Plymouth. We love being down there, part of it, the scene. I don't know. I have a lot right now that I just want more of it. I'm being selfish. I want more of what I have.
It's not selfish. That's just living your dream, and that's
Thank you.
amazing. Jessie, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank
You
you.
are
It's been an
such a
honor.
ray of sunshine, and I think you're inspiration to a lot of folks out there who need to follow their dreams. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Jessie is inspired and inspiring. Check out the art shop in downtown Plymouth to see Jessie and Eddie's inspiration come to life in the form of original artwork and handcrafted jewelry. And for more fun community conversations and commentary, follow our Open Here podcast on Apple or Spotify.
Hi friends, if you like this video by The Local Scene, share the love and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe.